Welcome back to ACB Wrestling Talk, your main source for wrestling news and wrestling discussions. I'm, of course, your host, Alexis Carrillo, and let's get into some wrestling talk. Tonight is Friday night SmackDown on Fox. You know what that means? SmackDown preview, and I gotta say, for the first time in a long time, quite a few weeks, possibly months, I'm excited to actually watch SmackDown. Actually, what happened? Actually watch and see what transpires on SmackDown tonight. And the main reason because of this is the fact that this past Sunday at TLC, we saw the return of the American Dragon, Daniel Bryan. Yeah, with shorter hair, he pretty much looked exactly the way that he looked when he first entered WWE way back in 2010. So props on that for Daniel Bryan. Now the thing is, how is the Fiend, how is Bray Wyatt gonna take Daniel Bryan returning and pretty much interfering with the Fiend's business against The Miz at TLC? That's one of the biggest questions going into SmackDown tonight. And of course, Daniel Bryan, being that he will return, well, he has returned, and now on SmackDown he's going to have to address the WWE Universe as it pertains as to why and what happened and why he returned. Well, we're going to wait and see what they start to build up for their WWE Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble. Round 2, just like I predicted, it's only going to take place in 2020, not at TLC. But not only that, we've got also 2 matches announced for SmackDown tonight. Bayley faces off against Dana Brooke in a rematch, non-title rematch, but, you know, gotta say this, not really interested in this, not really into the Dana Brooke segments with Drake Maverick and with Elias. Nothing against any of them. At some points they were entertaining, but, you know, they haven't done anything really. They've given us more TV time with Dana Brooke. They've given us more things, more material to make fun of somebody like Drake Maverick. And they reintroduced Elias to us, this time as a babyface. That's pretty much it. Now, Dana Brooke has to face off against Bayley, and we all know what the end result's going to be here. Bayley's going to win this match. Possible that she and Sasha Banks start beating on Dana Brooke. And then out comes Lacey Evans to continue that build-up for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And finally, also announced previously for this show, the New Day face off against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro in a non-title match. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro in this, barely put-together tag team, apparently. You know, put together by the managerial Sami Zayn. Again, sometimes I don't understand where WWE goes in terms of storyline purposes. I really don't see why Nakamura and Cesaro need to be together. If I'm not mistaken, Nakamura is still Intercontinental Champion. So, what's the end result here, WWE? And let's not forget the fact that at TLC, Roman Reigns was defeated by Baron Corbin and his cohorts and his subjects, The Revival, and Dolph Ziggler interfering in their match, causing Roman Reigns to lose. So now the big dog, I must assume that he's going to have hell to pay for, well, he's going to search for Dolph Ziggler, for the Revival, and for Baron Corbin. He's going to search for retribution, and he's going to search for payback, because WWE doesn't end feuds this way. They don't end it with the villain winning, especially when you're talking about the face of the company in Roman Reigns. So Reigns is eventually going to get his win over Baron Corbin. We just have to keep waiting until that happens. Moving on to our second segment right here on Wrestling Talk, the very last proper Wrestling Talk of 2019. NXT won the final battle in the Wednesday Night Wars in 2019. When I say final, I mean the final proper battle in 2019, because I understand that next week, next Wednesday, we're gonna have best of shows for both NXT and for both AEW. Those aren't proper shows, but in terms of proper programming, storylines, characters, matches, NXT ended up getting the win over AEW. NXT drew 795,000 viewers, not too bad, but not too high, against a worrying 683,000 viewers garnered by Dynamite on TNT, according to ShowBuzz Daily. So again, Dynamite's numbers on a big network like TNT on primetime television on Wednesday night, these are worrying. They started off big, 1.4 on October 2nd. They're ending dangerously low on December 18th with 683,000 viewers. Just like I talked about on yesterday's show, Eric Bischoff might have a point. When you're producing these kinds of ratings for a primetime network like TNT in a primetime slot, you should probably be worried about the overall viewership for the company. You should probably be worried about the deal that you've made with TNT. Because TNT, I'll continue to say it, it's a primetime network. Dynamite is on a primetime slot. And in that primetime slot, TNT needs to sell ads. And when you're producing 600, 700,000 viewers every single week, advertisers will not want to put their ads on that time slot, which creates a problem for TNT's and Time Warner's bottom line. And at the end of the day, this is all business, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that AEW is putting up or attempting to put up a fight against the monopoly that is WWE. That does not matter in the world of business. What matters in business is the bottom line. And the bottom line is, how much money are you making me, or how much money are you making me lose? So with that said, what do you think is going to happen with TNT? Should they be worried about their viewership for 2020? Should that be their main focus for the new year? Or do you think that eventually AEW will settle in a very 1.1, 1.2 million viewership? It's just, like I always say, December, end of the year, autopilot. Moving on to our third segment. Killer Kross, who just a few days ago, that it was reported that Killer Kross had been granted his release from Impact Wrestling finally, after months and months of not appearing on Impact product, after months and months of rumors circulating online that Killer Kross was going to seek legal action against Impact because he wanted to get his release from Impact Wrestling. Now, Killer Kross has set up a date for his debut. And don't worry, it's not for AEW, it's not for WWE, it's not for NXT. No, not yet. Not yet, because again, like I said yesterday, Killer Kross will end up in one of the bigger companies. He will end up in NXT or AEW. He's just that damn good. But on February 1st, 2020, Killer Kross will be making his Major League Wrestling debut in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in a 2300 arena for MLW's Fightland. So Killer Kross is easing back into the current wrestling industry. But again, AEW and WWE lurking not far behind. I'm pretty damn sure they both have a deal ready to offer to Killer Kross, and then it's going to be up to Killer Kross to decide what he does and where he goes. What's his best option to continue his career in the professional wrestling industry? So what do you think about Killer Kross making his debut for MLW in February of 2020? Do you think it's a little bit precipitated? Do you think he should have just waited to make a bigger splash and bigger debut for one of the bigger companies, AEW or WWE? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions on the comments section below. And just when we thought we might be able to move away from this rivalry, to move away from this feud, this entire mess, this entire love triangle storyline, WWE shuts us all up, and they announce that on next week's Raw, actually no, on the final Raw of 2019, we're going to have the Lana and Bobby Lashley wedding. WWE made this official, and it's going to take place from the XL Center on December 30th in Hartford, Connecticut. And this is what Lana and Lashley had to say on Twitter. This is what they each tweeted about their upcoming nuptials. Lana wrote this, and I quote, "Can't wait to walk down the aisle together as Mr. and Mrs. Lashley." Well, Lashley himself, Bobby Lashley, tweeted, "You're all cordially invited to attend our wedding Monday, December 30th. No better way to close out the year than watching us say, 'I do.'" Then he tagged Rusev. "I'll save you a seat. Can't wait for it to be officially official. Lana, #Raw," and then in between that, a kiss emoji. So safe to say their characters, Lana and Bobby Lashley, are very much excited about their upcoming wedding. But, you know, we're all professional wrestling fans here, very experienced in sports entertainment. We all know how professional wrestling weddings work. We all know how they end up. And 100% of the time, they end up very, very badly for those involved in the actual wedding. And this is not going to be the exception. Rusev is most likely going to make an appearance. Rusev is going to most likely ruin the wedding for both Lashley and Lana, and this entire mess of a storyline is going to continue to roll downhill into the new year, into 2020, yes, but still continue to roll downhill. So what do I expect? Lana and Lashley say, probably "I do." They get to say that. Rusev interrupts, pretty much happy that he doesn't have to pay alimony to his wife anymore, legally. And then maybe some embarrassing clip that Rusev has of Lana or Lashley or both embarrassing them on their wedding night in front of millions of people around the world. That's WWE's way of producing weddings. And we all know that's going to be the end result. That's a wrap. You know, that's pretty much what's going to happen. Hate to say it, WWE, but it's just the way it is. And finally, on a very controversial note, Bully Ray, who is a part of Busted Open Radio, Sirius XM's Busted Open Radio. He's one of the best workers on the mic ever since he became the Bully Ray character back in TNA Wrestling. So it's safe to say that he is very outspoken. He has opinions about everything, and when he talks, you listen because his opinion is just that damn good. He's just that knowledgeable in professional wrestling. Well, he has a theory on why Matt Hardy keeps getting quote-unquote buried by WWE, and he assumes that it's because of Jeff Hardy's past mistakes. Past, 10 years ago, and most recent mistakes. Jeff Hardy keeps making mistakes. So this is what Bully Ray had to say on SiriusXM's Busted Open Radio, and I quote, "Hopefully Matt and Jeff won't be angry with me when I say this. But it is what it is. Have Matt and Jeff individually made mistakes on their journey over the past 20 to 25 years, personally outside of the ring? Yes, 100%. You know what? Everybody makes mistakes, and it's going to happen. They make Jeff a single star. We've seen it before. We saw it in the WWE. We've seen it today. He becomes a champion. He becomes a star. They start pushing the hell out of Jeff. Matt just falls down the ladder completely. It almost seems like they take out their frustrations on Matt for whatever Jeff may have done wrong. Any mistake that Jeff Hardy has made, anybody can make in any one time or another. And that's why people gang up on people like Jeff for a mistake they made, whatever mistake it is. Drunken driving or that. This stuff happens. It can happen to you. It can happen to a family member. It can happen to anybody, and hopefully he learned from the mistakes. These guys are my brothers. It just always winds up on the back burner, and he keeps reinventing himself, and that is a kick in the balls. He takes it on the chin. He reinvents himself. V1, big money Matt, broken. It's mad that he gets all this stuff over. I think he gets put back on the back burner. It's ridiculous. And of course, those are the words that Bully Ray had to say. Matt Hardy's contract is coming up in February of 2020. That's just a report. Nothing's been confirmed. But it's hard to say if Bully Ray has any kind of reason here. Again, it's a theory. There's no confirmation. And, we talked about this last week. Reby Hardy does seem to agree with the fact that Matt Hardy keeps getting buried over the fact that, yes, the Hardy Boys have made mistakes, both professionally and personally in the past, and WWE can't seem to get over that. Now you got Reby Hardy speaking out on that. Bully Ray speaking out on that. So the real question is, do you fans agree with Bully Ray's theory? Do you think Matt Hardy gets buried because of Jeff Hardy's mistakes with the company? Or do you think, more like I do, that, in this sort of career in professional wrestling, you make or break your career. You decide your own fate. Whatever happens to you is essentially, your fault. You really want life to work out for you. Make everything your fault. Forget the excuses. Forget talking about, WWE's putting me down, or the fans don't like me, or my brother's causing me to lose all these matches, or book me to become a jobber. Forget all about that. If I'm not on top, then I'm not on top. It's up to me to get to the top. And yes, Matt Hardy has gotten every single gimmick over, for the most part. Yes, that's true. He's gotten every single gimmick over. But he's not the only one who's gotten every single gimmick over. There are other superstars on the roster, on any roster, when he was in Impact, when he was in Ring of Honor, right now in WWE, there are still more superstars, more wrestlers that could deserve a spot. And you know what I say? You know what I think about these veteran guys. Matt Hardy is a veteran. I respect what he's done for the business, but at the end of the day, he's a veteran. We got tons of young guys coming up the ranks. Focus on them. Put the focus on them. Try to put them over. That's my opinion. That should be the focus of creative in any company. So again, I go back to that saying. Whatever happens to you, or whatever doesn't happen to you, it's your fault. You caused it, you fixed it. Because if you don't, then you start throwing out excuses about everything, and then you don't have any consequences in life, in your career, or anything at all. But hey, that's just my opinion. And, we're all entitled to each have our own opinion on everything, but sometimes you gotta be harsh, and life is harsh, and you just gotta roll with the punches. So with that said, that's it for today's ACB Wrestling Talk episode, December 20th, 2019. And that's it for the proper 2019 episodes of Wrestling Talk for the year. Now for the next, 10, 11 days, for the next 2 weeks possibly, I'm going to be posting videos every once in a while, specialty videos that I won't be doing, live, because essentially what I do with Wrestling Talk, what I normally do is I record them in the morning, I edit them, and upload them the very same day. That's not going to happen for the next 2 weeks. Wrestling Talk properly will return on January 6th, Monday, January 6th of the new year. But in the meantime, I wish you all Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Spend as much time as possible with your family. Enjoy yourselves. Eat as much as you can. It's the holidays. You could cheat. It's the break. You know, we're on autopilot. You can do it. Nothing wrong. Nothing against that. So with that said, hope you had a good one. See you. That's it for me. See you next time.